Hello Internet folk, and hello to the Tiddlerhood. Little video today just to show you TiddlyWiki and GNU Nano. Using GNU Nano with custom TiddlyWiki syntax highlighting to help understand or edit complex code. And this is very much in the early stages, so let's not expect too much perfection here. For a while now I've been searching for a simple editor that has TiddlyWiki syntax highlighting, a small footprint editor that runs well on my Chromebook, and something that provides syntax highlighting. And maybe later I'll consider syntax highlighting for wiki text, so you're bold, italic, that kind of stuff. But for now, my biggest concern was finding highlighting for what I would call programming. So highlighting code related to widgets, filtering, or HTML inside of a Tiddler. Now I had no luck trying to find a simple editor with TiddlyWiki syntax highlighting built in, so instead I started searching for a simple editor that allowed creation of custom syntax highlighting for new programming languages, or for existing programming languages for which you want some very personalized highlighting going on. Now my searching led me to GNU Nano, and I found an older version, 3.2 version, in the Debian 10 package repository that allowed for no fuss, no muss install on my Chromebook. Now what I wanted was something that makes this sample code easier to read. I'm not too concerned about the very top of that code, but what I wanted was something that made the actual programming a lot easier to read. And I came up with this using GNU Nano. And just to compare, sneak a peek at the plain text that we would find in TiddlyWiki compared to this highlighted code that I've got right here. Now, some folk may find all this coloring a little bit busy. For some reason this works for me, to be able to see the start of any widget, the end of a widget, code related to widget, and to see operators within those widgets. I find this a lot easier to read. Now anything that is just regular text or custom variable names, that kind of thing, all left in white. And then I just made double quotes and single quotes yellow and brackets yellow, and other things that I'll talk about in the next screenshot. So when you decide for yourself if you find this easier to read, then by all means stick to it. But if you like the idea of highlighted code, GNU Nano does a pretty good job. Now let's move this aside, and let's take a look at the code that I had first started as sample. The first code I picked as sample code to try to figure out how to highlight TiddlyWiki code in Nano. I found this really great sample code on the TiddlyWiki forums, code that Eric had provided. And this had loads of stuff going on, so it was perfect to try to start building a file that tells Nano how we want the TiddlyWiki syntax highlighted. And after using Eric's code, I started going into some sample code on TiddlyWiki.com to then find some other things that I wanted to highlight with Nano. So I've got some substantial setup here to highlight TiddlyWiki code for various widgets, a lot of them. Now you'll see I've got some work to do. Let me find an example here. I'm still trying to figure out to set up syntax highlighting you need to understand how regular expressions work, and I'm still new to regular expressions, so I've got some learning to do here. But you can see here in this example, this is just plain text, but it's highlighted is because it thinks that is this is one of the TiddlyWiki operators when it's just plain text. Anyway, let's take a look real quick at what the configuration file looks like to tell Nano how to highlight TiddlyWiki code. The very early beginnings, I've got some work yet to do here, but you can see that I said, hey, look, color cyan any right, what do you call this, greater than sign, I guess, and color them all cyan. Anything that has a slash and a greater than sign, color that sign as well. Anything that starts with a lower than sign, set it as bright cyan. And I've kind of had a scheme where anything that starts a widget, make it a bright color, and make the ending of that widget just a regular color. And you can see that we want to set as bright blue the keywords add suffix, all, count, days, etc., etc. So this is how we specify syntax highlighting. I've got to learn more about regular expressions to try to figure out how to not highlight things that are actually not TiddlyWiki syntax, but just plain text. So this is what it looks like. It's not a long file, and if you want to know more about GNU Nano and how to color things, go visit the GNU Nano website, which is for the newer version, 5 point something or another. But you'll see that there's some flexibility there, and it's really easy to set up. Anyway, let me maybe give you an opportunity to see how the syntax highlighting looks for various things. And I'm just going to scroll down fairly slowly just to give you an opportunity to see how things start, how things end. I'm also new to Nano. I haven't figured out all the keyboard commands yet to scroll without jumping from page to page. And you can see I've got a widget and any forget what these are called. They're not variables, but in this case they're parameters. They're widget parameters, and parameter names are in a dark blue. But when there are actual let's find a good filter operator to look at here. When there are filters with filter operators inside those filters, they're light blue, just to make them stand out a little bit more. Let's scroll down a little bit so you have an opportunity to see various buttons and various action widgets. I should mention that a long time since I've worked with an application that's very much keyboard oriented. And let me exit Nano. You'll see the Nano runs right from the command line in Linux. So you run the command line and then you're in, and then all of the commands are keyboard based. I haven't done this kind of thing since I think the late 80s. With maybe DBase 4 or something like that, where everything was driven by the keyboard. So it's a bit of a deja vu for me, and it's taken me a little while to learn because I'm so used to using a mouse and clicking on something to do anything. But once you figure it out, it's not so bad. So things like saving, Control O to save and Enter to save it. And if you get a little bit lost and need some help, you can Control G, and you got a list of all of the keyboard accelerators or keyboard you know, keys to run certain commands. Anyway, I just want to show you this real quick little project I'm working on. I'm hoping to learn more about regular expressions so I can fine-tune this really, really well. Anyway, best regards. Have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.